Today, I want to share with you something that comes along with in our waffle here from our Google Suite that we have access to, and it is called Jamboard. And it's basically a whiteboard that you can use on its own and present that. And so you can actually write on it and like you would a whiteboard to show your students, or you can also have students interact with it when you share it in Google Meets. So if you are just starting out, you're going to press a plus sign for a new Jamboard. And it just is a whiteboard. I've made some ahead of time. Let's see. There we go. And so this is one that I'm calling a demonstration slide for you. And it's just to show you some of the things you can do with it. And so I'm going to hide the tools. So I've added this Bitmoji to the front of it. So ahead of time, when you're showing this to students, I've made a couple slides for us to, or a couple Jamboards for us to do, and then show you kind of how they work. And when you want to have students working alongside you on these, or they can work in teams together on this, it allows them to interact together on this one particular whiteboard. So this one here, I'm going to use today with my students, and I'm going to ask them, how are you? And they can go over here into the pen, and it has various types of pens, a skinny lined pen, a little bit thicker marker. This one says highlighter, but I like the look of it. It looks like a whiteboard marker. And then the paintbrush is very pale. To me, it acts more like a highlighter. It's not particularly, it doesn't show up very well, but you can play with that, and you can change the different colors as well. And then this is an eraser, and it only has one size that I can tell. It's not a very big eraser, so it's a little bit challenging to use to erase mistakes, but it's there. This takes you back to your just regular cursor. This one here is a sticky note, and I really love this one maybe the most. It allows students to, or you, to type a message or type some kind of comment, and it so allows all students to respond, or just allows you to use it. So I love this, so I put that on there. And so you can have that on there ahead of time, which I'll show you on another slide. Again, you can add it when you're trying to, if perhaps kids have told you an answer and you want to record it onto your Jamboard, or eventually you're going to have students who are creating their own and adding it to the Jamboard. So that's the sticky note feature. And then there's an add an image. And so just like in Google Slides, Google Drawing, you can click on this and search either from your computer or from Google Search. You can add an image. So let's just add something happy here. And so I can just click on it. There, that one's cute. And again, you can you can resize it, you can tip it at an angle, and if you don't like it, you can make multiple copies of it, of course, and you can delete it if you don't like it. So that's that tool. And again, any image that you want to add in here, this one's a very cool tool. It's a laser pointer. So when you're teaching, and I really wanted to emphasize, take a look at this sticky note here, you'll notice it went around it for a little bit, but then it disappeared. So it doesn't stay on the image. Whereas if I had done that with one of the markers or pens, then it would stay. And you can see that's just going to stay there forever, which is useful at times, but not here. So I'm going to maybe erase that. So here I am using the eraser, and you can see it just isn't particularly large enough to, as far as I can tell, I can't change the size. Now, maybe there's a way, and one of you guys will discover it, and you can let me know. So I'm going to go on to, I need to get back to there. So you got to remember to change back to whatever you want to use, a pen or an eraser. You need to make sure you keep changing that. Maybe a little bit like our old whiteboards, our smart boards that we used to use. So here I've set up an assignment for the students that I'm going to have them interact with during the meeting time. And I've asked them which of these doesn't belong. And so they're going to take a look, and they can either, I can have them choose, write on it, or you add a sticky note, or maybe, some kind of mark, or just put a check mark where they think it goes. So or maybe sign their name. So they really like the sticky note, but they also like some of the other tools too. And I have to tell you that I gave them an opportunity yesterday to really play with it, because otherwise, well, that was just going to happen while I was trying to teach. And so yesterday we just let them explore and play, and they had a blast on it. They were having a lot of fun with this tool. And then we talked about, what do you think some of the rules for using this would be? And so then we tried it again where they were following the rules, and it worked very well. So give them an opportunity to play around. And then another assignment we're going to do is insert an image that shows you how you feel about zoos. So, because this last week we've been doing an opinion piece, should we have zoos or not? So this way they can just pick an image of something, and then we can ask them to explain, oh, who picked the zebra? Why did you pick the zebra? As a show how you feel about, or they might show something in a cage or something. Anyway, an opportunity to get the discussion going, and gives it, so it's much more interactive and they're much more engaged. So how do you share this during Google Meets? So what you're going to do is that when you go up here, you're going to copy the link like you would any other link. And then when you're in your Google Meet, you're going to go to the chat, and you're going to insert the link into the chats. And then while you're meeting, you can tell students, now go to the chat and click on that link, and it will open up onto these slides for them. And they can be interacting with you. Today, we used them without inserting a link, and just used it to demonstrate, to underline, to highlight, to work out an equation, like a whiteboard for them that they didn't interact on. But when you put it into Meets, then they too can write on it. And again, let them play with it first, because if you don't, they're going to take over and play with it anyway. And so just go ahead and let them play, and teach them what your rules for this are. And anyway, have a lot of fun with it. I like it because it now means I don't have to try and write on a whiteboard in front of them, where they, and then hold it up to the camera just right. This one they can all see. So let me know if you have questions. I'm going to be exploring this a lot more, and love to, share ideas with you about what you come up with this. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and hope it's useful.